ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। सो नाउ स्टिल इन द कंफ्यूजन विषाद योग में हम लोग अभी भी डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। एंड यू ऑल मस्ट बी वंडरिंग व्हाई दिस विषाद योग में इतना हम लोग फोकस क्यों कर रहे हैं। ठीक है, अर्जुन इज कंफ्यूज्ड, फाइन, आई एम नॉट एट ऑल कंफ्यूज्ड। व्हाट डज दिस मीन? व्हाट इज द स्पेशलिटी ऑफ दिस? स्पेशलिटी इज दिस इज हाउ द इंटेलिजेंस ऑफ अ पर्सन इज कैलकुलेटेड। देयर आर 8 points by which a person's mind development is calculated. Now, it's very important. So before we go to that, let's read the next word, verse number 3, right? 2.3, right? Yes, 2.3, please, who can read the translation? Come on, fast. Who has got 2.3 ready? Read. Read.
O son of God, do not yield to this degrading impotency. It does not become you. Give up such petty weaknesses of heart and arise, O charioteer of the enemy.
Chastise of the enemy. So we have to understand that here Krishna is telling Arjuna, what is he saying? From where does this petty miserliness, or what is he saying is impotency? Why is the word impotency being used here?
He's challenging his Atma Samman ko challenge kar rahe hain.
Okay, one point is there. Okay, something more.
Lord is trying to tell him that please man up now, at least.
Okay, something but still better.
Not able to do something.
Not able to do something.
You had said in the last lecture that he is giving a slap.
Agreed. That's what an example I gave you was a fireman. When a fireman comes to save you and you are in a hysterical form, okay, save me, blah blah blah, you're shouting, and then what does the fireman does? First gives you a tight slaps so that you come to your senses, and then you're rattled, and then he decides. Yes, then you come to, you again talk to him. He'll tell you, keep your feet properly, come down the ladder. He'll drill at that hysterical point. Even if he gives you an advice, it will not go in your mind. तो पहले उन्होंने क्या किया? एक झापड़ मार। उसके अलावा क्या? इसमें और क्या अर्थ निकला था? हाँ, yes. He was Brahmanala for 1 year. Arjuna was Brahmanala. So he is saying, are you still having that impotency inside you? What does it mean? 1 year of, Brahmanala, that is a female form. So what does this mean? Does he really take a female form? No. He becomes impotent for that 1 year. So he is acting like a female or a eunuch. So that is what he is saying. Hey, from where did this impotency come inside you? तुम ठीक एक वर्ष तुमको श्राप मिला था, but now are you still imbibing that, or having that hangover of that thing? Great words, great words. Spiritually enlightened words are enlightening us. So, okay, ठीक है, but I mean, I won't blame him. That's the word which we like to hear also. If I tell some nice disciplined word, anyhow, it will not go inside your ears. ऐसा word, हाँ, yes, yes. And it, understanding also, it immediately comes to your mind. You get convinced. Yes, hangover. Yes. So it's like, yeah, how come that still is persisting? That characteristic feature is still persisting inside you, and that's what Arjuna was being asked by Krishna. That's why he says, O son of Parth, do not yield to this degrading impotency. It does not become you. It is not fit for you. I mean, it doesn't reflect your character. Give up such petty weaknesses of your heart and erase, O chastiser of the enemy. So he is telling him, get up, idiot, fight. In short, he is telling, get up and fight. Don't be an impotent person. Somebody should not read it as an important person. It should be an important person. Okay, next verse. We shall read first. Verse 4.
Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle? Man like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship.
Puja Veruval Arisudanaha. The last line of this verse is very important. They are puja. Puja के समान हैं वो लोग. उनको मैं कैसे बाण चलाऊं, उनके ऊपर कैसे बाण चलाऊं. So actually this shows evolvement of intelligence. Who can write on this board? Can write? Come. If you need. Total 8 points have to be written, Prabhu. So space it out into 1 to 8, so it becomes easier for you. You don't have to go two corner. You can go little in the center, or whichever in which people can read it much better. I think you started from here. You started from here at the 8 points, but going up to this point. Yeah. Then someone will have to come and move the camera to, not now, after the points are written. Okay. Stages of development of intelligence. This is a test for you also. Stages of development of intelligence. Or simple as 8 types of intelligence. You can write within bracket 8 types of intelligence. First, point number 1, very important point. One who never asks questions. Don't worry, all will be coming in this 8 grades much better. One who never asks any questions. Second, one who desires to ask but doesn't ask. One who desiring to ask. तो थोड़ा बड़ा और क्लियर, थोड़ा हिब्रू लगता है. हिब्रू भाषा लगता है, क्लियर, थोड़ा बड़ा, मतलब it should be clear for everyone to the last bench also. If अगर कम पड़ा, we can use that space, so make it big, no problem. You can write 4 here, 4 there also, not an issue. Okay. 8 types of intelligence. Okay, who desires to ask? Who is like? Third is one who asks the question. आखिर बाहर निकल जाता है. One who, अच्छा इसी में एक सेक्शन और आएगा, इस कान से उस कान.
Left to right.
Desire to ask, but answer is इस कान से उस कान. Then who is listening, the fourth type, who listens to the answer and is totally shaken up. Who listens to the answer and totally shaken up. अरे यार मैं तो ऐसा सोचा ही नहीं था, वैसा ही नहीं सोचा था ना. Total shake up to the thinking. Put a line here, right here, fourth. I mean, written 4, no? Rest 4 you can write. Higher one is one who understands what is good and what is bad. That is higher evolvement of intelligence. One who understands what is good and what is bad. पहले वाले ने सुना, इसकान से उसकान कर दिया, फिर उसके बाद shaken up हुआ. Then one who understands what is good and what is bad. Still higher involvement of the brain or the intelligence is accepting the correct and leaving the wrong. Accepting which is correct. And then comes the correct and leaving the wrong. So we better go and meet Bill Gates, Prabhu.
क्यों प्रभु?
ये फॉन्ट उसके इसमें नहीं है. But still, it's edible. I'm happy with it. Still, the most difficult, the 7th part, applying it in one's life. The most difficult part. And the last is one is one who preaches this knowledge to others. That is the last, most important. That's the most intelligent person. We can take it on the camera and show it. Who preaches this knowledge? So let's have a chronological understanding. Then you will understand why this chapter 1, Vishada Yoga, is so important, and then how it will help us in upgrading our intelligence, going to a higher form of intelligence. One who never asks questions. How many of you will fit in this category? Please ask yourself. Who? What is it? Desires. Who desires to ask a question? Some people have a desire to ask question. Very nice, good. Sometimes, but see, the problem is the third category is very dangerous. One who asks questions. Some people ask questions just for the sake of asking a question. Like somebody may ask me, Prabhu ji, Sudama ka पिताजी का नाम क्या है? What relevance has it got? क्या आपका श्राद्ध करने वाले उसके पिताजी का? What relevance has it got? It should make sense. A question should have logical understanding or sense. So here you have to understand, first at least develop the desire. If you have developed the desire to ask a question, means you have improved. When you enter the class, how you come into what format you come in? Suna, acha laga, Hare Krishna. This is what happens when you enter the first class. But then, how you are considered to be a mature student? What makes you a more mature student or a more mature disciple is you have started developing the desire to ask a question, and then you ask a question finally. But then, here there is one problem. You ask the question, you get an answer, but then, fine, nice. You tested the teacher. You have not taken knowledge, you have just tested the teacher. Acha, he's got knowledge. Okay, I'm right the right hands. Okay, now I can go and rest in peace. No, That's not the point. You should not ask a question just to test the teacher. If you are really having a doubt, you want to imbibe it in your life, then you ask the question. Otherwise, this is a lower kind of situation where you asked a question, but bas you heard it, that's it. हमने कुछ नहीं किया उसका. Then comes one who listens, and then oh मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, मैं क्या क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ, उससे shaken off होना चाहिए. कई बार हाँ प्रभु जी करेंगे, क्या जल्दी है, छोड़ेंगे. हमारे आदतें हम छोड़ेंगे, जल्दी क्या है, फुर्सत में. That means he is not shaken off. So this shows this, that intelligence is not highly evolved. This intelligence stuck at level 3. So you have to go to level at least 7, if not 8. 8 is preferred. At least that is 100%. 100% ना सही 90% तो लो. 90 चलो 80% तो लो. यहाँ आप तो 30% पे अटके हो. 35 ही नहीं 30% पे कि भाई you are not even shaken off. At least get shaken off, rattled off. ओ आज तक मैं जो कर रहा था वो गलत था. Yeah, I should improve. Then comes the understanding. Yes, what is right and what is wrong. That will come in verse number 2.11, where Krishna will tell Gatasun Agatasun Shina Anusochit Panditaha. He calls Arjuna as a Pandita. अरे वाह बड़ा पंडित जैसा बात करता है. That is the level where you come to a level of what is the meaning of Pandit. I'll explain that time. That time I'm telling you. So, you know, when you understand this, then the series of in which the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita will go, you will understand. Otherwise, pale nahi padega. Then, accepting the correct and leaving the wrong. Like said, one personality came to my house who knew, yes, now I'm worshipping a demigod like Sai Baba, who is not even a demigod, but is just a self-created Baba, and I should not worship him. He understood. But then, the most difficult thing, how to accept that it is correct, and then if I accept it is correct, how will I imbibe it in my life? How will I apply it? This is a problem. So this is where you have to understand. Up to this point, somehow or the other, गिरते लुढ़कते बुढ़कते आप आ जाओगे. हाँ कैसे बोलते हैं ना वो प्राइमरी सेक्शन का बच्चा कैसे भी कितना भी घटिया क्यों ना है, इंटरनल मार्क्स एक्सटर्नल मार्क्स देख के वो आ जाता है. But then when it comes to 8th, 9th, 10th, they are like this. Their grace marks won't work. You will have to implement it in your life, and once you implement it in your life, then there will be higher involvement. There you would like to share that experience. It's like, if someone it was a question asked to my teacher Ruplas Prabhuji in one of his questions in his lectures, his class, that Ruplas Prabhuji mentioned that we are like this is like a hospital, and everyone is a patient. One should never complain. कोई किसी का हाथ खराब है तो किसी का सिर खराब है तो किसी का पेट खराब है. अभी हाथ खराब है मतलब जिसका फ्रैक्चर होके पड़ा है वो बाजू वाले को थोड़ी बोल सकते हैं तो गैस छोड़ रहा है बोल के. हाँ, he cannot say that, right? He is also himself is sick. His sickness may be different, and this person's sickness may be different. But then a hospital means all type of patients will be there. So the question was asked. So does that mean we are doctors? Are we doctors? What answer would you give?
Yes.
No. Yes, no, yes, no. क्या होगा? Yes. No, yes. Maybe, may not be. None of the above.
Prabhuji, can you repeat?
It is yes.
Actually, I got lost.
We are happy to become better.
Yeah, but yes, but are we doctors? No. Then who are we? Suppose, I'll give a very simple understanding. Suppose you get cold and cough. नहीं भगवान ना करे आज कोरोना काल में cold cough ना हो जाए, पेट बिगड़ जाए आपका, चलेगा. That's a more acceptable disease today. So suppose let's say your stomach is upset and you tell some people, Prabhuji, I'm not well, पेट खराब है मेरा. And just the minute you come and tell this, immediately Jigar Prabhu will give you some advice. Hey, you eat that, okay, अजवाइन का गोली खाओ या कुछ पुदीना हरा खाओ. He will give his advice. And then Raj Rora will give it. नहीं वो सब कुछ मत खाना. मैं बोलता हूँ वो कुछ खाना. and he'll something out of the box, he'll give an advice. So he'll give an advice. So like that, everyone will give an advice. So you have to understand this way, that we were also patients like you. But with this process and applying it in our life, we have got a change. We have experienced a change. So we are also just recommending you. We are not Bhagavad Gita. We are telling you to read the. So please understand this. So preaching doesn't mean that you have become a आपसे मेरा आशीर्वाद लो और मेरे पैर पे पड़ो और मुझे एक ये करो. नहीं, that's all nonsense. That's not the right way of humbleness in preaching should be there. One should always preach as a representative or as a postman of God. Prabhupada writes in the introduction, we are like the postman. We don't write a letter, we just carry the letter. So the letter is already written by God. The Bhagavad Gita is a letter written to you all. We are just delivering this letter to you and in a decoded manner. That's all. It's like, Prabhupada, God has written in a very abridged manner in 700 verses. We are taking 700 days, 700 weeks, 700 months. So that's the only thing we are doing. So let's understand this, that imbibing in one's life and getting is. So I think you all should start from point number 1. You all are in this category, because whenever after the class is over, I ask, is there any questions? All bright phrases. Then I immediately think, oh, they are all in category 8. They're not in category 1. But then if you want to have a higher evolvement of intelligence, means these are the stages. Please note it down and think over it. Think over it. That's more important. And this is what Arjuna is doing over here. Again, Arjuna is asking, ये same question वापस पूछ रहा है. मैं भीष्म और द्रोणाचार्य पे कैसे बाण चलाऊं? दे आर पूज्यरेबल, दे आर पूजा करने लायक हैं लोग, उन पे मैं कैसे बाण चलाऊं? नेक्स्ट वर्स फास्ट. Come on, who's reading the next verse?
It would be better to live in this world by begging them to live at the cost of the lives of the great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood.
See, the important understanding over here is just being intelligent is not enough to understand dharma or to understand the Bhagavad Gita. Karna. Let's take the example of Karna. Before the war, in fact, much before, Krishna came to Karna and said, please join the Pandavas, leave Duryodhana. What did Karna say? What did Karna say?
I can't do it.
Why? फ्रेंडशिप मैंने उसका नमक खाया है, तो मैं उसके साथ बारी नहीं कर सकता हूं. So here what do you understand? His understanding was not correct, and one has to pay a price for a wrong understanding. Karna knew very well that he was being used by Duryodhana, and Duryodhana also knew that ये मेरा हुक्म का एक का है, जब वक्त आएगा I will use him against Arjuna. So both were actually, what was that? There was no love. It was like, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. But in that wrong understanding, where did he land? He landed in doing a big mistake. He insulted Draupadi in the Dvit Krida. In the Dvit Krida, he insulted Draupadi. So what does this mean? Even if you may be an intelligent person, what quality was lacking in Karna? Always, in all aspects, he was as good, in fact, much superior to Arjuna. If you see the war of Mahabharata, when Karna came to fight with Arjuna, what happened? Each time Karna was firing an arrow, his Rath was going 10 steps behind. And each time Arjuna was firing an arrow, 100 steps behind, the Rath of Karna was going behind. And each time Karna would fire an arrow, Krishna would say, Aho, Aho, very nice, very nice. Krishna is praising. Arjuna is confused. ये तू मेरा सारथी है, मेरा पार्टी का आदमी है, हाँ? और तू उसको प्रेज कर रहा है? How come you are praising him when you are in my side? You are supposed to help me. That time, Krishna says, when you are firing, what is happening? सीधी बात है ना, when I am firing the arrow, the Ratha is going 100 steps behind. And when he is firing my Ratha is going only 10 steps behind. तो only 10% or 90% उसका मेरा shot का value है. That time, Krishna says, when this Ratha is having me, the Lord of the universe sitting on this Ratha, in spite of that, if he is able to push 10 steps behind, what great warrior he must be. He is not having Krishna sitting in his Ratha, but in spite of having a charioteer like me, who is the Lord, who is the Lord of the universe, sitting over there, in spite of that, this chariot is going 10 steps behind. So who is great? You or he? But still, what is the use? Intelligence, skill, everything was good. But understanding was bad. This is where everyone goes wrong. Discretion of understanding what is good and what is bad, and then accepting what is good. Though it may not be your choice, your fad, your flavor, but then you have to accept something which is correct and leave something which is wrong, and then imbibe it in one's own life. These two are the very important things. Where up to this point, karna may be good. These 4 points, karna may be good. But what is the use? यहाँ आके आदमी गड़बड़ा जाता है. So that is what makes. That's what here also Arjuna is saying. It would be better to beg. Why you want to beg? You are a Kshatriya. It is your rightful share. It's not that you are to take it by force. It is your rightful share. And what is the job of a Kshatriya? To establish dharma. And then all these three you are not doing. And what are you doing? You are saying, I will live a life in the world, but it is better begging than to live on the cost of the lives of the great souls who are my teacher. Even though desiring worldly gains, they are superior. Means, indirectly saying, they are materialistic people. They are desiring something materialistic, high, but still they are superior. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Again, wohi bar bol. You know, बार इस चीज़ पे आचार्यगण ने क्यों फोकस किया है कि हम लोग का जिंदगी में जब तक गाड़ी सही चल रही है, we don't need the Gita. We absolutely don't need. Very good. Get up in the morning like a donkey, go to office, earn some money. In the night, watch some TV, have some mobile, just have some material life in the night, and then sleep. The next morning again you get up, go like a donkey, work. Routine life. Then what? Then there is no involvement of brain. There is no involvement of intelligence. Intelligence will not evolve. It will be in the same cycle. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. बस उसी में अटका रहेगा. Yes, that's next verse. Raish Balsara, read the next verse.
Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the son of...
This is the point. Differentiate between good, what is good and what is bad. Yeah.
If we kill the sons of the cluster, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
So this is the biggest point, that he is confused. Understanding is lost. So when you are in a point, in a juncture of your life where you don't know which route to take, as long there is only one road, you don't have to look into the GPS also. But when there are 4 or 5 roads dividing at one junction point, then you start looking at the GPS, which road should I take? The first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Till then you don't have need. So you need a guide at the point where you are in a confused state, where to go or where not to go. But life actually is in a confused state from the day one. क्या करूं, क्या ना करूं? Everywhere, every minute of your life, every second of your life, you are confused. This is what is to be understood this point. So the most diamond verse is now going to be read today. Karpanya dosha ahata svabhava paschami tvam dharma samudu chetasa yak shreyasa nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyaste ham swadhimam tvam prapannam. This verse has got lots and lots and lots of understanding. First and foremost, Krishna was waiting for this verse. Unless and until one doesn't surrender, he will not listen. That's why first chapter Arjuna is speaking, Krishna is coolly listening. बड़बड़ रहा है, अपना मन का भड़ास निकाल रहा है, निकालने दो. Because he is confused. A confused person only will, keep on blabbering like this. But when a person comes to his senses, then he will understand the things much better. Then he says, Karpanya dosha ahata svabhava praschami tvam dharma samuda chetasaha. Each word is like an atom bomb in this verse. Karpanya, of miserliness, dosha, weakness. Upaharta, being afflicted. Swabhavaha, characteristics. Paschami, I am asking. Tvam, unto you. Dharma, religion. Samudaha, bewildered. We are all, whenever you are bewildered, what are you supposed to do? That shows in the next two lines. Yak shreyasa nishchitam bruhitam me. Kya mere liye shreyaskar hai? Ek shreyasa. Shreya means which is better. Now, sometimes difference between good, what is good to you, and what is better for you are two different things. Like for example, a small child might come and ask, Mommy, give me a chocolate. Apparently it is good to the child. The child tastes it, he likes it, eats it. But is it better for him? If you have something still better? How many people have understood this point? सब लोग, आप लोग समझे? आप लोग नहीं समझे? समझ में आया? तो नहीं समझ में? तो फिर कुछ पूछने का ना, एटलीस्ट ये कैटेगरी में तो आने का ना. Yeah, every time you have to write this, huh? See, just sitting, nice. AC is very nice. Painting is also very nice. Nice. Video is also very nice stand. Very nice stand. That's not the purpose of our attending a class. At least an evolved person like you, I still consider you as an evolved person. An evolved being rather. So you should ask this question if you are not understood. So what is Shreya and what is Preya? This is the difference you have to understand. Priya, जो हमको प्रिय होता है, but not necessarily it may be Shreya. It may be good to you. प्रिय हो सकता है. जैसा मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल दिया, बच्चे को चॉकलेट प्रिय है, चॉकलेट बच्चे को आइसक्रीम प्रिय है, बट अगर वो बच्चा बहुत मोटा है, the child is very fat, for him it is not Shreya. It may be Priya, but it is not Shreya. That is what you have to ask a teacher, principal. When you are asking a guru, what are you supposed to ask? हम मेरे प्रिय है उस हिसाब से आप जवाब देते हो तो मैं टिकता हूं, नहीं तो भागता हूं. I'll exit the group. अगर मेरे प्रिय है, नहीं, that's the problem. In today in Kalyug, people want what is Priya or Priya, but they don't want what is Shreya. And mind you, no teacher in the world likes to hey, आपका प्रिय चीज को निकाल दिया, मुझे कितना खुशी मिल रहा है. I'm taking away this child's ice cream, and then any mother or father have taken this ice cream and I'm going to throw it, and then I'm going to laugh like a Willy डायन की तरह हंसूंगी. नहीं होने वाला. माँ को दुख होता है, अरे मेरा बच्चा मांग रहा, but I'm not able to give. But then it is bad for the child. Might be tomorrow he's having his exam, or he's having cold, or he's too fat, which will put on more calories. So looking into those problems, or rather into those aspects, the mother or the father takes a decision. But from the child's point of view, the child may say, Mommy, you are bad, Daddy is good, because Mommy is Shreya, but Daddy is Priya. Daddy gives me without understanding, or I'm just giving a point. Some cases, in some houses this happens. The father may give, the mother may not give. The child may say, oh, the mother is so useless, she is horrible, but my father is so nice. I go and ask him, immediately gives me. Whether it is good for me or bad for him, the child doesn't have that intelligence or the evolved intelligence to think. So, yak shreyasa nishchitam bruhi tanme. Nishchitam is sure shot. What is the word to a translation given here? Confidently, perfectly मुझे बताओ which is good for me. वो मुझे बताओ. But for you are reading the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So he's saying, yak shreyasa nishchitam bruhi. Bruhi means tell me, speak to me. Nishchitam bruhi tanme. Shishyaste ham swadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your shishya. And then what does he say? Prapannam. I surrender. Till this, the Bhagavad Gita that does start. Krishna is just, bol, maja aa raha hai. Krishna was taking the enjoyment of his speaking. But at this point, from the next verse, the Bhagavad Gita actually starts. That's why it is 2.24 तक आप लोगों को लिमिट है. चैंट करना है नहीं करना है. 2.25 से you will have to follow some rules and regulations and norms of the reading the Bhagavad Gita. So let us understand this. How now I am confused about my duty and have lost my composure because of miserly weaknesses. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So whenever one person goes to the spiritual master, Diksha Guru or Shiksha Guru, he should go with this attitude. Because what instruction the spiritual master will give will be shreya for you, will not, maybe, may not be priya to you. आप बोलेंगे प्रिय नहीं प्रभु जी, क्या है 16 माला, बिल्कुल प्रिय नहीं है मेरे को तो बिल्कुल प्रिय नहीं है. But it is shreya for you. Following 4 regulative principles, no meditating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. This is कितने लोगों के लिए प्रिय है, but this is not shreya. So this you have to be avoided or stopped. These are the things which are, whatever Shastra says is 99% अप्रिय. प्रिय नहीं रहता है, अप्रिय रहता है. सुबह जल्दी उठना, अरे उसको नहाना, उसके बाद माला करना, उसके बाद भगवान का सेवा करना, उसके बाद प्रसाद खाना, फिर फालतू कंपनीज के साथ घूमना. So many bad things, है ना? So many bad things. एंड ऊपर से शाम को लेक्चर क्लास लेंगे प्रभु जी, कुछ ना कुछ बोलेंगे, ये मत करो वो मत करो. Yes, they may be apriya, but they are your shreya. So Shastra is for you, shreya for you is not, maybe or may not be apriya to you. And always it is said, an action which in the starting is like poison, but at the end it turns out to be nectar. That is what is action in the mode of goodness. And what is the mode of ignorance? Starting it is nectar, in the end it is poison. Starting nectar. Smoking is nectar, drinking is nectar, taking drugs is nectar. Everything, drinking is nectar. But then, when after 20 years, when you get cancer, nice beautiful photographs will be taken for cigarette boxes के लिए, ad के लिए आपका, you will be a model. You will be chosen as a model. But ऐसा भी model choose करते हैं वो लोग, क्या करें? So, one who smokes, one who drinks, liver cirrhosis, these things. But somebody may come and argue, Prabhuji, there are so many ladies who are not smoking and drinking, they are getting breast cancer, they are getting ovarian cancer, they are getting this cancer, that cancer. And I know one fellow, and really I knew one person, hardcore drinker. He was a painter by profession. But he used to be like Jambu Mali. He used to be in a lake of liquor. I mean, when he's painting also, paint ka was kam, daru ka was zyada aata. He used to be like that. So he used to be like Jambu Mali. But to the shock, you won't believe, he stayed till the age of 70 without any liver cirrhosis or any ailments. Don't think that's lucky. One may say, oh, see, you are saying small children are getting diseases and that. It is not necessary or it is not good that, by saying that he did not get the disease. What the amount of karma he has incurred in this process? What is the amount of karma he has incurred in this process? क्या चाहिए प्रभु? प्रभु एक एक करके बैग लेने आओगे, नहीं चलेगा, क्लास के बाद पहले लेके जाने को या तो बाद में लेके जाओ प्रभु जी प्लीज. 15-20 मिनट रुक जाइए, आप क्लास के बाद क्या लिए, मेहरबानी कीजिए. तो the amount of karma you are incurring in this process, the amount of, in the hell, how many times your mouth will be forced to open and molten hot iron will be put inside your mouth and you have to drink that. Now you drank so many pegs, no? So many drinks, so many amount of alcohol also you drink, so much amount of iron you drink, molten iron is poured in your mouth. कौन देखा है? Fine. Immediately you should show this 8 points to them. This is evolved. This is what I'm saying. This is intelligence everyone has got. But how much someone uses his intelligence is to be seen. Evolvement takes time. But it's like evolution. Somebody was asking in yesterday's class, no? How much Vedas have evolved. That lady was so dumb, she never knew Vedas talks about the soul, not about the body. Body evolves, okay? Body evolves. Kaumaram, Yuvanam, Jarahat. That is already mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. No? You take birth as a child, then you die as an old man with wrinkles and all. So this evolves. But the soul doesn't evolve. The soul remains the same, whether it be in a child's body or in an old man's body, whether it be in an ant's body or whether it be in an elephant's body. So we have to understand that this is the most important way in which one has to surrender. Please read the purport of this scroll. Very important purport. Yeah, anyone reads?
I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drawing up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it even if I will.
Which verse are you reading? I said 2.7 purport.
By nature's own way to complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life.
One. So here, what is the perplexity of life, what she is mentioning? What does Prabhupada mean by approaching a spiritual master? प्रभु जी बेटे का शादी नहीं हो रहा है, मेरा प्रमोशन नहीं हो रहा है. Are these perplexities of life? What is purpose? How do you shape your human life, your human birth, and in what way, in what destination are you going to reach or achieve? It should not be day to day, भगवान आज मेरा ट्रेन मिस हो गया, फ्लाइट मिस हो गया, लेट हो गया, मैं घर से लेट निकला हूँ, मेरा फ्लाइट मिस होना नहीं चाहिए. This is not a guru or a God is meant for. The use of a guru is not meant for these things. They are something which is material. Guru is supposed to be something which is spiritual. Be it be Shiksha Guru, be it be Diksha Guru, or be it be a Padmasha Guru. Guru means one who takes care of your spiritual life, not your material life. अरे प्रभु जी क्या करूं, शेयर मार्केट में लगाया था, सब डूब गया. No, that's your karma. You have dug it. You have invested in the wrong place and you have lost it. That's your karmas. When you win or when you earn, do you come to the Guru and say, भगवान मेरे पे बहुत कृपा लग के रखे हैं. आजकल भगवान की कृपा भी ऐसी हो गई है. आजकल भगवान की कृपा बहुत नहीं है प्रभु जी हमारे पर. बिल्कुल भगवान की कृपा नहीं है. शादी नहीं हो रहा है, बेटे को बच्चा नहीं हो रहा है, या धंधा नहीं चल रहा है, पैसा नहीं आ रहा है, बहुत पैसा अटका है मार्केट में, या शेयर मार्केट डूबा हुआ है. दिस इज नॉट भगवान की कृपा. भगवान की कृपा तो ये है कि आपको भगवद गीता का क्लास में लेके आए. दैट इज भगवान कृपा. That God has brought you into spiritual life. Otherwise, here all those who are working, all those who are into business are having their own problems. You will have your own problem, you will have your own problem, he will have his own problem, he will have his own problem, you are having his own problem. Variety may be different, but problem is there. Even students are facing problems. पढ़ना पड़ेगा, पढ़ने के बाद नौकरी मिलना पड़ेगा, है ना. सब प्रॉब्लम्स है. ऊपर से रशिया में पढ़ रहा है आदमी. नहीं, यूक्रेन, ये आदमी रशिया में पढ़ रहा है, मेडिकल डॉक्टर बन रहा है. तो कहने का मेरा मतलब दीज आर प्रॉब्लम्स. कभी सोचा नहीं बेचारे MBBS फर्स्ट ईयर लेते वक्त कि और आएगा. So we are all in material problems, don't worry. But a spiritual master is not to be used for this. A spiritual master is to be used for spiritual problems. Yes, please continue, Madhu.
They are like forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve for the complexity of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is the disciplined.
एक मिनट, कहाँ से? रुकिए प्रभु, एक एक करके आप लोग बैग लेने जाओगे, क्लास चल रहा है. आप पहले एक बैग लेके जाइए, या तो फिर रुकिए 10 मिनट रुकिए, क्लास हो जाएगा, बाद में आके लीजिए.
बैग नहीं ले रहे, इसमें से ये ले रहे हैं, जांच ले रहे हैं.
पहले ले ले वो ना. अच्छा, हाँ, रीड. हाँ, this distracts the class, actually. Totally class is distracted. You continue reading.
One must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person which is bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexity, but should approach a spiritual master. This is a purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In Brahman Aranyaka Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows. He is miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. The human form of life.
One second. Here, if you read the reference to Arjuna, if you understand, he is talking about perplexity. He is talking about material life. Is he talking of material life or is he talking of dharma? The perplexity lies in the material life, but actually in the process of implementing dharma. He has come here, the war is for dharma. Dharma or a rightful war, he wants to fight for his share. But then, what is the perplexity which is cropping up in between? Is a material perplexity. So this will happen with all of us. When we are in the spiritual path, material perplexity will come. Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita class or Sunday evening friends के साथ movie जाना. This is also perplexity. This is also a problem, big problem. कहाँ जाऊँ, क्या ना जाऊँ, क्या करूँ ना क्या ना करूँ. So these perplexities are going to be there lifelong. That is why one has to take the advice of a spiritual master. And that is why Arjuna is now surrendered to Krishna. Now his advice is started. Please go ahead, Mataji.
This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is the Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. The Karpanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for the family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. The Krapana thinks that he is for the verge of death.
This is what is the thing which is mentioned in Bhagavatam in detail. It says very clearly, no, everyone who thinks that they are my Atma Sainya, mere Atma ka Sainya. Why we like to have to, live like the family? And when problem comes, I may call up my daughter, and my problem faces a problem, my daughter faces a problem, she may call me up. Why? We think, ये लोग मुझे संभाल ले. अच्छा, ये लोग नहीं तो friends नहीं तो बाहर से मेरा LIC पॉलिसी और ये बचाएगा मुझे. But nothing works because you are not going to be saved from your prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is going to take its toll in due course of time. No one can save himself from his prarabdha karma in the material world. But in the spiritual world, yes, there is a better scope. That is why again and again Prabhupada is saying this body has to be used correctly. Always I give an example. This body is like a rocket and the soul is like a satellite. So to launch the satellite or the soul in the spiritual orbit, you anyhow need this body. If one may say, I'll end this body and then I'll get nirvana, moksha and all, this is all nonsense. You need this body, but this body has to be. The biggest problem is dvandva, duality, confusion. The problem is, ठीक है प्रभु जी 12 बजे प्रभु जी का लेक्चर खत्म होगा, 1 बजे तो शो तो 1:30 बजे का है, आराम से I'll be reached there by time. With my jazzy dress and my jazzy friends and my jazzy car, I'll go. This is duality. First, understanding what is good and bad, accepting the good. First is knowing what is good and bad, then accepting, yes, this is good, and then imbibing in one's life. So, intelligence, अक्सर यहाँ पे यही point is the general cutoff point. In our case, we can say this, because everyone Iskcon से Uskcon, ये उतरता नहीं, यहाँ उतरता नहीं, और यहाँ उतरेगा तो फिर you get shaken up. Unless and doesn't get into your heart, you don't get shaken up. The minute you get shaken up, then you'll wonder what is good and what is bad. And then when you wonder what is good and bad, then you have to, next higher evolvement is accept which is good, not priya. What is shreya? That's important. Please go ahead.
Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his them from death were the causes of his perplexity. Though he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him. Still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge his duties. He is asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks between the Master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjun wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita started in Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without, and one who has no sense of understanding is greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
You know, when it comes to surrender, I'll give you a small story. क्या हो गया उनको? क्या हो गया? हंस रहा surrender पे एक small story before we wind up today's class. What is generally surrender? Offering oneself. Here Arjuna has offered himself to Krishna. शिष्यस्याम स्वादिमाम त्वाम प्रपन्नम. एक बार एक चोर आया था गांव में, चोरी करने गया, इधर उधर ढूंढा, कुछ मिला नहीं, बैड डे, he was going away from the village. On the way he saw a temple. कुछ नहीं तो मंदिर में कुछ लूट के जाता हूँ. Something, I'll get something. So went inside the temple. And bad luck, the temple was of Shivji. शिवजी का टेम्पल में तो कुछ चढ़ावा होता नहीं. हाँ, अगर कृष्ण का टेम्पल होता था बांसुरी मिलता था, मुकुट मिलता था, हार मिलता था, कुछ तो मिलता था लूटने के लिए. बैड लक, उसका इतना बैड लक था उस दिन शिवजी का मंदिर मिला. बोला आज क्या, अभी आज बैड डे है. और अंदर कुछ था नहीं, शिवलिंग था, नंदी बैल थी, बैजू में बैठा था. बैठ के सोच रहा था क्या करूं क्या करूं. इतने में देखा ठीक भगवान के शिवलिंग के ऊपर देयर वाज वन बेल, बिग बेल. कुछ नहीं तो कम से कम बेल तो चोरी कर लूं मैं. ठीक है, वेरी नाइस. ही वेंट्स अप, ही क्लाइम्ड अप. एंड हाउ टू क्लाइंब अप इज अ बिगर क्वेश्चन. स्टूल वूल तो था नहीं वहाँ पर. तो बोला कुछ नहीं, चलो शिवलिंग के ऊपर कुछ बेल पत्र पड़े थे, उसके ऊपर ही पैर रखा उसने और शिवलिंग के ऊपर खड़ा रह के बेल निकालने लगा. इतने में शिव जी ठांग करके आ गए. इमीडिएटली शिव जी केम इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम. बोला बेटा आज तक पानी, दूध, मक्खन, मतलब हनी, बेलपत्र सब चढ़ाने वाले लोग देखे हैं, मगर अपने आप को चढ़ाने वाला पहला व्यक्ति देखा मैंने. तो इसके लिए तेरा दर्शन करने मैं आया हूँ. सो सी नो टेलिंग ऑल दिस easy, no we say, we offer Krishna surrendered himself, his whole life and body to Krishna's advice, or Krishna as a teacher. But then surrendering is a process. Unless until one doesn't learn the art of surrendering to a spiritual master, he cannot surrender to God. Because spiritual master ka conditions are little, God ka conditions are many. उसमें तो प्रिय का चांस ही नहीं है. यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या करते हैं, चलो आपको प्रिय मंचूरियन है, नो प्रॉब्लम, बनाओ, भगवान को भोग लगाओ और खाओ. सो यहाँ पे एक्चुअली आप श्रेय नहीं कर रहे हो, आपका प्रिय कर रहे हो, बट भगवान से चलो थप्पा मारो, हम लेके खाते. बट okay, that's why we have I have told you the story of Haridas Thakur, who used to offer chappan bhog to Baki Bihari ji, but he himself used to eat 3 littis, that's all. वो भी भगवान को ऊपर ऐसा घुमा के, भगवान के सिर पर घुमा के खा लेते थे. और जितना छप्पन भोग है रोज बनते थे, साधुओं को खिलाते थे, बचा हुआ मछलियों को खिलाते थे यमुना में जाके, बट कभी खुद नहीं खाते थे. Surrendering is a challenging job. It is not an easy job. But yes, if you don't start the process of surrendering in this birth, it will be very difficult. That's why when I ask someone, please wear Kanthi Mala, surrender. How can I surrender? Kanthi Mala नहीं पहनेंगे. Kanthi Mala पहन लिया तो दीक्षा नहीं लेंगे. Prabhu ji, I know good and bad, but then accept good, very difficult. Very difficult. That's why I said, आप लोग खुद एनालाइज कर लो, आप लोग कहाँ पे हो, किस चार्ट में कहाँ पे हो, या किस स्टेज में से आपको किस स्टेज में जाना है. It's left to you. So that's why people say, no Prabhuji, in my house I got this problem, in this problem I got this problem. Problems are going to be there as long as your body, his soul is inside your body. As long as the soul is inside your body, you're going to face various problems. But unless and until you don't take an endeavor, you don't take an effort and surrender to Krishna or to surrender to your spiritual master, how can you expect something good or better? It's impossible. Okay, with this we'd like to end today's class. And if anybody has any doubts and questions, they can ask. What is matter?